Yo, welcome to the 5th episode of Shredlaner. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about diet structure. Strictly for fat loss, a diet structure is not important, as long as your calories and macros are met. But a diet structure could be the difference between you sticking to a caloric deficit or failing. So it is quite important. At the end of the video, I'm going to be giving you some tips on how you can create your own diet structure. But now, I want us to look at some guys who have very good diet structures, and we see if we can learn some things from them. In the morning, Radu will drink sparkling water and black coffee to blunt his appetite. Between 2 to 3, he will have his first meal, which contains protein and vegetables. Between 5 and 6, he will have his high-fat meal. At around 8 to 10 p.m., he will have his high-carb, high-protein meal and most of his calories. In the beginning, Radu learned all this stuff from Greg of Kinobody. Greg too has a fixed diet structure, which he does not deviate from. It is far enjoyable to find a way that you like eating and stick with it, because why would you change that and do something which does not work for you? You can choose any food you want, but as long as the diet structure is fixed and the macronutrients in that diet are also fixed, then you're going to see results. My diet structure is also similar but kind of messy. So I wake up around 6, that I don't eat anything in the morning. I only drink water. I also don't do coffee because I don't think I need that caffeine. Then at around 1 to 4, I will have my first meal. And this meal contains most of my protein. Between 8 to around 12, I will have my second and last meal, which contains the remaining proteins, all my carbs, and the rest of the fats. And in this meal, I also put my vegetables. So how do you come up with your own diet structure? Step number 1, you need to decide how many meals you want to be having every day. I recommend between 2 to 3. You can have less than 2. The problem with this is you're going to condition your body to eating too many calories at once, which can cause some food disorders. If you have more than 3, then you'll be thinking about food all the time, and the amount of food you'll be having at a given moment will be too small to feed you, so you'll also be feeling hungry all the time. So I recommend between 2 to 3. Number 2, you need to decide at what times you'll be having these meals. I recommend to use intermittent fasting, where you push your first meal a few hours after waking up. This way, you limit your feeding window, which makes it impossible to overeat. The third point is you need to decide how you're going to be feeding your macronutrients into these meals. I suggest your first meal to contain most of your protein and most of your veggies, because protein is the most satiating macronutrient. It stays in the stomach the longest and it fills you the most. Vegetables contain fiber and they also fill your stomach, so they will help you eat little and stay filled longer. Your second meal could contain most of your snacks and your desserts, and that is whatever you decide. It could be chocolate, ice cream, cakes, whatever you like. This is good for you because it will help you to avoid cravings, and it can contain most of your fats. I would recommend that in your last meal you have most of your carbohydrates and the rest of the protein and any remaining fats if you have any, and it should be the biggest one. The reason for this is the following day you're going to be fasting in the morning, meaning you may feel hunger if your last meal was small. So this is good for you if the meal is big. Another advantage is social occasions and going out happens at night most of the times. So if you program yourself to have your biggest meal at night, then you will not have problems when you go for social gatherings, because you can actually eat during those occasions and not restrict yourself. The last point I will give you is the best way to learn what works for you is by trying many things. So don't just do what I've told you, go and find out more. Try breakfast. Try intermittent fasting. Try 1 meal. Try 4 meals. Try starting with carbohydrates. Try finishing with fats. Try starting with protein or whatever. Give yourself some time to try these things out. Then you're going to come up with the one that works for you. If I was to choose the one that I would like to follow, I would follow Radhu's plan. The reason why I cannot do it now is because I do not own my time. I am employed, I depend on a check, and this is the reason why I am not in control of my diet. But when I'm no longer employed, I will be using the one that Radhu uses because I like it. So thank you for watching this episode. See you in the next.